victory!
10 points from a possible 12, the top half of the table well within our sights, and a packed Valley ready to roar us on. But we do have the League One leaders in town today here at the Valley, and they haven't lost since the opening day of the season in the league. Can we be the ones to change that? We'll find out soon enough. Lots coming up before kick-off. We'll speak exclusively to caretaker boss Johnny Jackson, as well as attacking midfielder Elliott Lee. We'll also hear from owner Thomas Sandgaard on today's exciting Fill the Valley initiative, and we'll touch on last weekend's hard-earned victory at Burton. Delighted to have Curbs back with me this afternoon. Curbs, you good?
Yeah, very good. Looking forward to this.
Yeah, you're looking well. We also have in between us a legend who's making his Charlton TV debut.
But at the moment, little return ball, and Walsh is through for the third. Paul Walsh is through for the third goal, and that really was a nice build-up from Charlton. I think the Reading defence stood still for a moment, hoping that the offside flag would go. Walsh with a lovely run here, selling defenders' dummies all over the place.
A warm welcome to Walshy. Walshy, obviously you're post-mullet now. That was pre-mullet as well, wasn't it? Very young.
I was 17 there, I think. Yeah.
Good memories, though. I mean, listen, mate, I don't want to talk about ages, but because I'm obviously in that bracket, so too Curbs, but that's the only bit of footage we've got of you.
But that shows you it's 40 years ago. Well, actually, it's 41 years ago, that is. So, I mean, times have changed. Yeah, there wasn't a lot on the TV, but I remember that as clear as a day. You know, 1-2 with Kevin Smith. We came through the youth team together, you know, which was fantastic. And, you know, little 1-2 in the box and bang goal, yes. Yeah, great. I mean, I remember everything. You know, I can remember more stuff from years ago than I can, you know, in the last 10 years.
OK, well, we'll come on to memory lane a little bit later on. But how does it feel to be back here at the Valley?
Yeah, I mean, I've been back several times. Yeah. It's always nice to come here. It's a day out for me and my dad as well. Always see a lot of friendly faces and see people, you know, that you haven't seen for a long time. So it's always a nice experience.
It's not quite Soccer Saturday sitting in between me and Curbs here, is it? But how much are you looking forward to today?
Yeah, I really am. I mean, listen, I've taken my eye off the ball in terms of football in the last couple of years, so I'm not totally up on a lot of the stuff. But obviously, I've seen where Charlton are in the table. I've seen that there's, you know, a temporary manager in charge, or whether he is temporary or not, we don't know yet. And they've got the top of the league in town, so as you've already mentioned. So it's going to be a tough day, but great big full house with that initiative that they've put in place to get the ground full up. And there's no better feeling for a player than a stadium that's rocking full up with people.
Absolutely. How much are you looking forward to today, Curbs? Missed you?
Well, yeah. It all happened, didn't it, last week? The sending offs and this and that. But no, I'm looking forward to seeing the stadium full. That's what we're hoping for. Yeah. And so Thomas can, instead of watching memory lane and you know, the old stuff, see it for yourself. See how great it is when this stadium is full and the noise. And bringing the top team in, who are bringing their own 3,000 fans, it should be a fantastic atmosphere. Let's hope we can. We've responded already under Jacko. Let's hope we can respond today.
Well, yeah, you have to say, Jacko and his team have answered pretty much every question and every test that's been thrown at them. What will it mean if we get a very positive result today, do you feel?
Yeah. I mean, this will be the result, I think. I think Sunderland was a proper result, wasn't it? Going to win at Sunderland. But the Rotherham game as well, and now this. I mean, 3 top sides in the league. But if we can get that result today, it's going to go a long way to helping Jacko get the job, I would have thought. And, you know, I think that playing against the top sides does help sometimes. And with a great atmosphere we've got here. I was a bit worried coming into the game about the injuries and suspensions and etc. But you've eased it a little bit since I've sat down.
Yeah, I thought you were going to say you're worried coming into the game Blackwall Tunnel. No. Hear it within Blackwall Tunnel all the time. 30 odd years on, he's still not got the Blackwall Tunnel sorted. Anyway, kick-off here at the Valley, less than 45 minutes away, lots to get through. So let's start off with the interview I had with Johnny Jackson a little bit earlier. Jacko, only one place to start. Looks like there's going to be over 25,000 here at the Valley. How much are you looking forward to it?
Can't wait, Scott. Really, really excited for the game, to see this place full. You know, what a place it can be. We know that when it's like that and the crowd are getting behind it, it's going to be brilliant. So for the lads to experience it, probably a lot of them for the first time, it's going to be a sight to behold. Really excited for the game.
You've had some great times here as a player in front of a sellout crowd as well. How different will it be? How proud will you be to lead the team out as a manager now?
For me personally, it's going to be a huge honour leading the team out in front of a full Valley. Be right up there with, you know, the proudest moments of my career here. So, and I've had a few, but yeah, I'm excited for the lads to see it as well, because a lot of them, you know, when they signed, it was empty stadiums when they first come here. So they, you know, they've experienced it. The crowd's coming back this year, but probably most of them haven't experienced it full yet. So they're going to see what it's really about today.
To make things even more exciting, the leaders Plymouth are in town. Now, you know Ryan Lowe very well as well. Have you spoken to him this week at all? But what are you expecting from them?
I haven't spoken to him this week. I think it's been a unwritten rule that, you know, we just leave each other alone. But it's someone I know well, someone I've got a lot of respect for, and I've got a lot of respect for his team. I think he's done a great job. He's got them playing some really good stuff. Exciting team. Play a similar way to us, I think, with energy and movement, and they've got a little bit of everything they can play. They can mix it up, and they're top of the league for a reason. They've been getting the results. I think they're unbeaten since the first game of the season. So, hell of a run. It's got to stop sometime, and hopefully we can stop that today. But we know we're in a real game.
So, what's the team that's going to stop them today?
It's very, very similar team to away at Burton. Obviously, Jaden. We're without Jaden now for 3 games. We was thankful that Akin, that was the right thing, getting Akin's one yellow card overturned. So Akin remains. We can use him, but Connor Washington comes back into the team, having been away on international duty. He'll come back in for Jaden. The rest remains unchanged.
We do have a few players missing though. But do you feel there's a real belief, or do you have that belief in this group of players that even if you have 2 or 3 out, 2 or 3 can come in and do the job as we've seen?
I do, yeah, because I mean the proof's been in the pudding so far. You know, I've had to chop and change through injuries, suspension, and everyone who's come into the side has been ready to do the job and has really stepped up and kept the shirt. Obviously, you know, Adam Matthews got injured, Chris Gunter came in, and then Chris Gunter goes away, Sean Clare goes in, and now Sean keeps his place because he's done brilliantly, and that's the standards they're setting in the change room, and I've said to them from day one when I took charge that if you've got the shirt, don't give me a reason to take it away from you. And at the minute they're all doing that, so I can't ask for any more.
No, they certainly are. I mean, since you've taken over, you've beaten Sunderland, where they hadn't even dropped a point at the Stadium of Light, thrashed Doncaster, came from behind to draw against Rotherham, and beaten Burton with 10 men as well. What would a win today against a team that is unbeaten in the last 16 league games do for this group?
I think it's just be another confidence booster. I think they're in a great place, and obviously it's a huge test. And, you know, the team that's top of the league coming into town. So, you know, if we do beat them today, you know, you put a real marker down. But I'm confident in the group. They're confident in themselves, and we know there'll be bumps in the road, and you know we're not going to win every game, and there'll be hiccups. But I don't think that should distract from where we're at and where we're going, because we're in a really good place regardless.
Good luck.
Thanks, Scott.
Yeah, so good news, bad news. The bad news is Jayden Stockley does start a 3-match suspension. The good news is that Akin Famerow, who received a yellow card, we thought it would be his 5th at Burton last week, was due to be suspended today, but that was reattributed to Ben Purrington due to mistaken identity, both now on 4 yellow cards. So it is just the one change, Curbs. Connor in for Jayden. Sean Clare keeps his place even though Chris Gunter is back. You go along with that?
Yeah, and what Johnny was saying there, you know, if you get the opportunity, you've got to take it. And if you take it, you stay in. So he's made the enforced changes he's had to make over the last couple of matches have worked, and it's the same message today.
There's a consistent team selection there, isn't it? Josh Davison has scored 6 goals for Charlton, all here at the Valley. Yeah. Can he fill that Jayden role? I mean, they're not the same player, but he's not totally different either.
But we've got 2 really mobile centre forwards out there today, not the biggest. Not like, obviously, Jayden. So it'd be interesting. Nigel had a thing, didn't he, that You know, the long balls up to Jayden, you know, he wasn't asking the players to do it, so he left Jayden out, didn't he?
Yeah.
And so we've got no big guy today. Let's see what happens.
Yeah. Well, you were a regular most of your career in the first team, but the odd time that you were coming in, from a striker's point of view, did you just feel I've just got to play to my strengths, or did you feel that there was a bit of pressure to play like the player whose place you've taken?
Yeah, I mean, mainly at Liverpool.
Difficult to follow Kenny.
Well, Kenny was on the bench, you know, and I was playing with Ian Rush up front, and the biggest motivation I could have was making sure he stayed on the bench.
Wow.
And you know, and I know it's like, it sounds ridiculous that, but that's how it was. I mean, he had, you know, I used to see him warming up, and there's only one player he was ever coming on for, and that was me.
It wasn't Rushy.
No, it was me. So, and he did come on for me a few times, you know, because if the result wasn't going well, he thought he could change it.
Yeah.
And I don't blame him for thinking that, but you know, he was such a great player. But when you come in, Tottenham was another place where I come on a sub quite a few times, and Paul Stewart was getting a game with Gary Lineker instead of me, and I really didn't agree with that. You know, but sometimes there's politics in football as well, money and transfer fees and other things. But so that philosophy that Johnny Jackson's got about if you've got the shirt, make sure you keep it. I think you have to be careful with that, because even if what happens if Josh Davison scores today and Jayden Stockley's available next week? What do you do?
Well, it sounds like he would keep the same side, and I think as a player, that's what you want, surely.
Yeah, fair play, because there's nothing more you can do than play well in the game you're in.
Yeah. Let's have a look at the league table, shall we? And we'll start off in the bottom half, where hopefully we won't be in for too much longer. We are 17th, but importantly in the form of the season. A win today, and we could end in the top half for the first time this campaign. Elsewhere in the bottom half, Morecambe, who we play on Tuesday, haven't won in 6. They've dropped to 20th. Burton are just 3 points ahead of us now. That shows how important last Saturday's win was. But Curbs, we've picked up more points in our last 4 league games than our previous 13. Yeah. And we're part of the pack now. How important is that?
We've been saying for some time that the only way we was going to get out of this bottom 3 or 4 was to put some results together, and that's exactly what we've done. And you can see what a difference it makes. I mean, it'd be fantastic we get it today. I mean, 4 wins. I'm not sure if we go above Burton today, but we're on now. We're looking up. We're looking up. Yeah. And the way, if we do get that result today, the way that Jacko's talking, the way the players are talking, and Mr. Optimistic over there, they can see the top 6.
Yeah.
You know, they can start looking at it.
Well, let's have a look at the top half then, shall we? And Walshy, Curbs is calling me Mr. Optimistic, because I still think that we were more than capable of getting there. Look, a long way off. Look, first of all, got to say Plymouth lead the way, and they're only 4 wins shy of equaling their win tally for the entirety of last season. Wigan, Rotherham, their closest competitors at the moment. But we've seen that top 6 change a lot in recent weeks. Sunderland have dropped to 7th, although they do have games in hand. We're 9 points off the playoffs at the moment. That's been reduced from 13 since Jacko took over. That's where we want to be at the end of the season, and there is plenty of time. How were you as a player? Did you look at the table at all? And in going through a bad patch, did you still think what we're capable of, or was it just the next few games?
I always looked at the table and thought we could win the next game and be there, wherever that there was at that point. You know, and you know, with Portsmouth, we had a promotion chasing season, and I was all over the table all the time. I don't think Jim Smith did that. I don't think Smithy looked at the table too often. He just took it one game at a time, which is probably a sensible way to do it. You know, whatever happens today, it's not. You know, it's recognising the progress that's been made up to today. Yeah. Because they're at the top of the table. They're at the top of the table, Plymouth, for a reason. And you know, not looking at the performance maybe rather than result.
You could say there were more smaller clubs in the top 6 and the top end. There are bigger clubs in inverted commas. Could that mean that actually things will change again as the season develops? And how exciting could that be?
I think because of injuries, because of the transfer window. You know, so we are in, as we keep saying it, if we can get up there, in and around it, we are an attractive club. And so when that window opens up, and if we do decide to go into the market, it makes us that more attractive to bring players in, if that's what we're going to do. But I just think the feel-good factor. I came here today a little bit earlier because obviously expecting a bigger crowd, and it's the first time I've seen people outside in the streets walking along with Charlton shirts on. Yeah. You know, so let's hope everything goes for us today, because if it does, the initiative, the result, etc., I think all the fans that have been here today for the first time would want to come back, and that's what it's all about.
It's hooking them in. So you did plan for the Blackwall Tunnel today, then?
Yeah, and I got straight through it. I couldn't believe it. I was going to phone Bonzo and say, because he was going that way for 20 years and I was going that way for 20 years.
Billy Bonds, that is brilliant. It's a full League One programme today. Let's have a look at the fixtures. Sheffield Wednesday go to Accrington, and they could end the day in the top 6 if results go their way. 2 big hitters go head-to-head at the Stadium of Light as Sunderland host Ipswich. Ipswich will go just a point behind Sunderland if they win there, and Sunderland have lost the last 3. Unfortunately, second place Wigan's home game against Carl Robinson's in-form Oxford has been called off due to COVID positive tests. So wish everyone the best there. But Curbs, which ones stand out for you?
Well, it would have been that Wigan-Oxford one for me, but I'm looking at Sunderland because since we went up there and won, they've had a torrid time, haven't they? You know, you said they've got 2 games in hand, but I think it's a big game for Sunderland today.
You've got to win them, haven't you?
Yeah, and they've got to win that one, I think, because that turns a really bad run into a disaster.
Walshy, we've asked everyone so far this season who's come on, and we will eventually stop at some point. Who do you think will be up there come May? Who do you think?
I just find it so unpredictable, you know. But you know, I haven't followed the league so closely, but you know, I expected Portsmouth to be there, you know, but they had a run and then they fell away, and I think, like you're expecting Charlton on a good run, even from where they are at this moment, to get there tells you everything. Yeah. You know, that a consistent, concerted effort by any club to string a bunch of results together, but who's the most likely? I don't know the league well enough to give you an answer.
I think even people who watch it on a weekly basis have no idea either. League One's the new championship, really, isn't it?
Every time you look at that, you're just amazed at how many big clubs are there.
Yeah.
You just look up and down and go, blimey, those in the Premier League. Oh, it's such a big league now, and you know, I think we're going to get a taste of the day to see what it is like, top of the table. You know, how good are Plymouth?
This is going to feel like a top of the table clash of that, there's no doubt. OK, let's go to club news now, shall we? And we start off with the news that today is our annual Armed Forces Day. Members of the personnel from Woolwich Barracks are in attendance this afternoon, as are members of the club's Armed Forces Addicts fans group. And ahead of kick-off, the last post will be played inside the Valley to observe a period of silence. We'll also be hearing from Charlton Athletic Museum trustee, Armed Forces Addicts member Clive Harris on Tuesday. That was a mouthful. Ticket news next, and more specifically, half-season tickets, which went on sale yesterday morning. Priced from just £110, a half-season ticket will become active from our home match against Gillingham on December the 29th. That's just around the corner. You can purchase a half-season ticket by visiting the Valley's ticket office in person, by phone, or by heading to booking.cafc.co.uk. A streaming update now, and Tuesday's away game against Morecambe will be available to stream worldwide, which does include the UK and Ireland. Morecambe, though, is a long way away, so why not watch on Charlton TV? Stevie Brown will be with Curbs and myself. Always fun, isn't it, with Brownie?
We won't get a word in, will we?
If you're not heading to the Mazuma Stadium, you can purchase a pass for Tuesday's game anywhere in the world for just a tenner by heading to cafc.co.uk. On the subject of Charlton TV, I'm delighted to announce that the Charlton TV Lounge launched today. Curbs and Walshy were in there for a Q&A session a little earlier, as was Brownie as well. And our Charlton TV pundits will make an appearance in there on every home match day going forwards. You enjoy it down there, chaps?
Yeah, it was good. I mean, it was done out really well, wasn't it? It was like a little bit of a museum as it was. Brilliant. It was good.
For more information on the Charlton TV Lounge and to book a space for a future match, please head to cafc.co.uk. Well, there was great news for the club on Thursday afternoon as Corey Blackett-Taylor put pen to paper on the new contract until the summer of 2023. The winger's previous deal had been due to expire in the new year, and that's good business all round, I reckon. Finally, the Charlton women's team returned to winning ways on Wednesday evening by beating Coventry United 3-1 in the Continental Cup group stages. Lois Roach opened the scoring with her first Charlton goal, and that was a neat finish as well, wasn't it? First half double from Elise Hughes. Good turn there from Elise. And then right place, right time at the far post sealed the victory at the Oakwood. And Karen Hills' Alex are back in action at the Oakwood tomorrow, and you can be there too. Tickets start at just £10 for adults and £5 for concessions. Right, delighted to say that owner Thomas Sandgaard is at the Valley today, and he was pitch side a little bit earlier with James Sherwood to talk about the fantastic initiative of ticketing here of Fill the Valley.
Thomas Sandgaard, great to have you here at the Valley for what should be an exciting, jam-packed afternoon. Are you excited to be here for the game against Plymouth?
Yeah, thank you, James. Yeah, I'm very excited, obviously. A jam-packed Valley is what we've been waiting for, and it's finally happening. We're playing number 1 in the league, Plymouth, and it's going to be a great game.
Of course, this afternoon, every season ticket holder could bring 3 friends with them, this hashtag Fill the Valley initiative. How did it come about?
Oh my God, people loved it. And I mean, the goal is obviously to fill the stadium. And even if we have to have season ticket holders bring a few of their friends to make that happen, the goal is to get people used to get back into the stadium for all the home games. And that's just the beginning of it. We have so many more initiative plans.
What kind of difference do you think a full buzzing Valley could make to the team out on the pitch today?
It's at least 1 goal, I tell you.
Yeah, so you think that can like add to the performance on the pitch?
So instead of winning 2-0, I'm predicting 3-0 today.
Whoa, that's a big prediction from Plymouth, top of the league. You think it's going to be a tough challenge, though?
Oh yeah, we're that good. Absolutely. We got the momentum, and we have the players, and obviously we have a few that are out with injuries, 1 red card, but we have so much depth in the squad that we can definitely match them.
Talking about the current momentum, caretaker manager Johnny Jackson has done a fantastic job. 10 points from a possible 12 in the league. What have you made of that turnaround?
Oh my God! Of course, you get the new manager bounce. That's nearly inevitable, and it did happen. And the lads are really fighting for him. They're giving it all. You can see, even if you measure the amount of miles they're running nearly twice as much as they did before. That tells you how hard they're working for Johnny, and he's doing an amazing job.
Yeah, we knew he was a fantastic assistant, right? But were you somewhat surprised when he stepped up to the role in the way that he has?
No, we already knew Johnny. He's been in charge a couple of games, 1 last season and here earlier at a cup game, and we've seen what he can do. So I wasn't surprised.
And talking about a full-time appointment, have you got any kind of timeline for the fans out there when we can expect an announcement?
It's 3 or 4 weeks ago since we made the change, at least. And I told Johnny, let's take a look after 30, maybe 60 days, and see how it's going. And I speak to Johnny on a very regular basis, many times a week. And of course, when I'm away, I'm spending pretty much all my time at the training ground. So we talk a lot. We're obviously working on this together.
And finally, just before we hand back to the studio, have you got a message for the Charlton fans that are going to be in attendance here at the Valley this afternoon?
No, mate, be as loud as you can. We want you to be as loud as you possibly can. We need your help. We need that extra goal. And I'm so excited to see you all here.
There you go, guys. You've heard it from the man himself, Thomas Sandgaard. You need to be as loud as you can this afternoon. Back over to you in the studio now, Scott.
Thanks, James. We're no brownies as loud as ever anyway, so I don't know if we need that extra goal, if it's going to be 2 or 3-0, but look, it's a fantastic initiative. And we've heard a lot from Thomas since he's taken over, hasn't he? And I think communication is really important, especially what happened with the previous owner. He still looks as excited as he did on day 1, doesn't he?
He does.
It rubs off on people.
The last time he came over was a bit jet-lagged, wasn't he? Because he got held up in Tampa, I think, or somewhere. But he's nice and fresh today, and buzzing, as you can see. And I think he's going to get a big kick out of this today. I know it's the initiative giving season ticket holders the chance to bring in 3 other people, which is great. But I think he's going to see the stadium full for the first time, live, which is a big thing for him, I think. And, you know, he's only ever seen it on the TV, so he can witness it today and realise the potential of this club. Because we all know, if we can get out of this league, this will be the size of the gate every week in the Championship. And then you go, boom, after that. But the Championship now is like a Premier League 2, and 20-odd thousand will be easy if we're in the Championship.
Well, the ground has changed a lot since you were playing here. Changed a lot since I was here as well, to be fair. But you said you've been back here many times. What is this place like when it's full?
Yeah, I mean, as Curb said, it's a different atmosphere. It's like, and as a player, that's what you want to play in front of. You know, when you walk out and hear that noise, that's that extra motivation. And I like the Thomas Sandgaard's enthusiasm, his optimism, to want to drive it in the right direction. And results ultimately help that happen.
What does it tell you about what he's thinking going forward as well with an initiative like this? I mean, for one person to bring in 3 other people for free is incredible, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. And, on the flip side of it, them extra free fans that have come here today might buy a programme, might even go and get a shirt, buy a pint or a pie, etc. But
I recommend the pies.
I recommend the pies. But if it's their first time here, say it's a youngster come here, it's their first time, and they sit down in the stand and hear the atmosphere, for the first time, they want to come back.
It's going to hook them in, isn't it?
That's how you've got to get them.
And they drive their parents mad to go again, don't they? And then that's how it grows.
I've said it many times, and I said it in the lounge earlier, Scott. When we came back here, after being at Sellers Park and Upton Park, all the 7-year-olds became 14-year-olds and were supporting other clubs. So we had to get the kids, so kids for £1, etc. The kids are coming in, and I'd still think some of these fans here today have stayed with us since Kids for £1, all them many years ago.
So these initiatives really work.
They work, and good luck today. Let's hope
Great to see pictures. Look, kids with their dads and mates walking down the street, ready for it and up for it.
I know, as I say, it's the first time I came here early because me and Paul were doing the lounge thing, but it's the first time I've seen people walking around the stadium with their scarves on and their shirts. Early.
I think I saw you in the background there, walking down with
early,
your shirt on.
And getting in the ground early. Normally, when the teams are warming up, there's no one here.
Yeah.
Great, let's get that atmosphere. And I'm sure, as Johnny said, the players will respond. They will respond.
Fantastic to see the next generation there just waiting, and hopefully we can hook them in. Great initiative, and hopefully we can see all 3 points. But I have to say, I'll take a point. We'll come on to that a little bit later on. OK. Time to rewind the clock and go down memory lane. It's going to have to be a quick one because we've not got no footage of you other than that. We're not going to keep on replaying that one all the time. But look, I mean, Keith Peacock, Mr. Charlton, has said that you're the most talented young player that he's ever worked with. He actually said I was the second. No, he didn't. What are your memories, though, of coming through the ranks here?
Oh, mate, I've got magical memories. I mean, I was telling over in the lounge, the Charlton TV lounge over there, I nearly got released at 14 because I was too small. I was really angry about that, and I hated playing second fiddle to anybody. But I just kept going. I didn't give in. I kept going. I kept working. I kept training. I kept doing well at all the other levels until eventually Jim Fibbins asked me to come to when I eventually got here, and but there was years where I was fearful of maybe getting released. And I said that, when I went into school, I did weights in the gym, got that little bit of physical extra, because being small, I had to get that little bit of extra strength. And then with the ability, I seemed to just bypass everybody else. And suddenly people really started believing in me.
Jim Fibbins is the one who brought me to Charlton as well, so fantastic scout, I have to say. Did you grow up locally at all? Did you watch the games?
Yeah, no, my dad was a West Ham fan. I only grew up 3 miles from here, in Abbey Wood. But I have climbed over the fence a few times here when I was a kid.
Was Rob Lee on the turnstiles at the time?
And but if my dad would take me to West Ham on the odd occasion, because he was a West Ham fan, I'd go with him. My uncle was an Arsenal season ticket holder. He took me to Highbury, and I used to watch Alan Ball play at Highbury, and I eventually played against Alan Ball here when he was player manager of Blackpool. And that was another great memory I've got.
Brilliant. You didn't cross paths as a player with Walshy, but what do you? Or did you?
I think maybe.
I remember beating Birmingham 2-1 when I was at Charlton. I scored the winner.
Let's talk more about that then.
You telling me you haven't got that on this footage?
We'll have to find it next time you're on, mate. Next time you're on.
Winning goal. Curbs is floundering, chasing me about. Come on.
We won promotion. I think Birmingham won promotion that year.
But Curbs, we'll have to look for that one if he's going past you, definitely.
I always remember, we played here against Charlton. Jimmy Smith was my manager, and Smithy. And the tunnel, the tunnel was on the halfway line, and we had a right winger called Alan Ainscoe. And the ball went out to him, it went under his foot and went down the tunnel. And Jimmy Smith just give it to him, whoa, as he can. Alan Ainscoe went down the tunnel to get the ball, and he just kicked it back and never came back.
Stayed down the tunnel. Memories, though, of Walsh as a player?
Yeah, well, I was just saying that if he played now, if he was playing now, obviously we'd all like to talk about that.
What would he be worth?
He'd be
now?
the perfect number 10.
Yeah.
That's how I see it. Not because of the size and that, but because he could pick a ball up on the turn.
Yeah.
And as a number 10, as we keep saying, which looking at Elliott Lee today, as a number 10, you've got to score goals and you've got to make goals. Yeah. And Walsh could do that. And, you know, he would be really valuable. Yeah. Not just money-wise, I'm talking about really valuable in today's game.
I'd make him a 9.5. Because he could play in between a number 9 and a 10. But great. My dad was a big Liverpool fan, loved watching you play, and actually was gutted when you left as well. So, you know. One more question as well. I mean, as you were coming through the ranks, a teenage striker in the 70s and 80s, you weren't looked after by the referee there like modern day strikers are. So what was that like as someone who's, you know, not the tallest, not the most physical, but at times defenders could come through you?
I was saying over there as well, I was at 15, I left school and went out and just got a job. And Les Gore found out I had a job. He said, just come in training. And so I was training with the first team at 15 and a half and eventually played in the reserves regularly at 15. And, you know, playing against disgruntled, you know, experienced players was how I learned how to ride challenges, anticipate challenges, you know where it was coming from, bouncing into people to come off them, and handling the physical side of the game. And it was just about gaining experience. But they were great early experiences, you know. And I don't know if players my size would get, you know, I wouldn't get a look in at playing, even getting pitched against that now in modern day football. I think because people just keep trying.
I don't think you would in the big clubs, but I think that's the opportunity that a Charlton can give.
Maybe,
you can come through the ranks, and obviously that helped shape you to go on and have the career that you did.
Yeah, well, people tend to look at you and just dismiss you because of your size, and I was aware of that, so you had to do something a bit outstanding to get noticed.
Yeah. Well, I said it'd be a quick trip down memory lane. Apologies for that. I can't believe we haven't got any more footage. Disgrace.
No, show that goal again.
George, I'm only joking. We'll show that. We want to show you going past curves. That's what we want to see. Let's bring it back round to pretty much current day anyway. And we'll talk about last Saturday as well. It was a fantastic win against Burton Curbs. I know you weren't with us. Yeah, the players showed just another different way, especially with the early sending off with Jayden as well. So how pleasing is that for a manager to be able to win games in more than just one way?
Yeah, and I think we showed that defensive quality again.
That's Jayden and Deji.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like Deji's the one who's the aggressor to me at the end of it, but the referee ain't seen much of it. Has he got on the linesman? But listen, we know that Jayden, he lives on the edge a little bit, doesn't he? Some of his challenges, and we said it a couple of weeks ago that perhaps the referees are looking out for him a little bit now because of the way he challenges and puts himself
about. One of your senior players and still win the game.
Yeah, absolutely. To lose your major play, if you like, at the moment, was a big blow. But that's a difficult place to go. I know Burton are not the greatest in the league at the moment, but that's a great win because of the pitch and the stadium and etc. And Purrington, as we know, is really good in the air, isn't he?
Yes.
And, you know, he scores goals when he gets in there.
He's getting really forward in that left wing-back role as well, isn't he?
And he's a reliable defender as well. But I like the defensive side of it because you knew, as the game was warring on, that Burton were going to come into it.
Yeah.
And the ball was going to go in our box a lot.
Yeah.
And, you know, we stood firm. Like we've got to stand firm today.
How does that change for you, 10v10, so early on, with one of your main players and a striker?
I'm glad it was 10 versus 10, and it wasn't just Jayden sent off.
Well, it looked at one point, it was just Jayden being sent off, but in the end, Deji was as well.
Yeah, so it evened itself up. But, no, you know what, it just adds to the confidence of the team. I think that this little run we're having at the moment has come, obviously, at the right time for everybody, Jacko included. And got to make another change today, as he said. You know, all the changes have been enforced, and he's not made them really. The first game he went, that's my team, this is it. The ones that are not in it, you better be in my face in training, and if you get your chance, stay in. And that's exactly what's happening at the moment.
Would you have loved a 10v10, a bit more space, or a bit more running?
Well, you'd like to think so. It depends who's the bravest of the two managers to gamble either way, but. Yeah, because you know, as a forward, you'd probably be expected to do a bit more defensive work. But it depends whether the manager's got the guts to say, just stand out of the way and we'll get it to you, and then hopefully I could go and do something. But again, it's always down to the manager.
Yeah, it was a fantastic win, I have to say. OK, one of our standout performance was Elliott Lee, dubbed the White Pele by the Charlton fans after the game, and I caught up with him a little bit earlier. Elliott, good to see you. Looking back to last Saturday, how satisfying a win was that? Going down to 10 men, but actually finding another way of winning a game.
Yeah, it was brilliant. Yeah, I think we showed like we've got to do the nitty-gritty side of the game, and we can do that. I think that's what we really wanted to prove to ourselves last week, that we can go to these places, with all due respect to Burton, and really grind out a win. And I think going down to 10v10 early on, and you have to cover more ground as a team. But no, it really showed what we're about, and that we can really do both sides of the game, and it was a great win. Might
a player like you actually like that because it creates more space?
Yeah, no, whenever I can...
Or do you have to run more?
Yeah, exactly, yeah, I think there's two sides to it, but no, whenever I can find more space is always great, but like you say, off the ball, you have to run a bit further. I think a lot of our stats were a lot higher last week, but no, it's all worth it for the 3 points.
And after the game, the fans were singing the White Pele. Even your old man didn't get that. How was that?
Yeah, I feel I got one over everyone there. No, it's brilliant. I think I've said in the week, it was a surreal feeling to have all the fans singing your name. It's the first time I've had it at any club. And yeah, it's just a really unique feeling to have, and one I'll treasure forever. Yeah.
What's it like playing for Charlton? Obviously, you know, your dad played here many times. It was a legend as well. Granddad a fan, and now you've got the shirt.
Yeah, no, it's a unique feeling. I mean, I walk around the valley and I literally have just walked past a picture of Dad. So it's the same at the training ground. I see pictures of him at the training ground. So no, it is really strange. I mean, my nan and granddad, they're coming back and they're seeing all people that they used to see years ago when they used to watch my dad. So no, it has a real special feeling to it. And like I said, I'm just loving every minute of it.
Yeah, and it's certainly seen that way, and it's great that the fans appreciate the work that you do. In terms of since Jacko's taken over, results have been great. What's changed?
I think there's more of an intensity about us. Jacko's really come in and said, like, if you're not willing to put the work in, then you're not going to play. And I think it's just like with all due respect to Nigel Adkins, I've said he was great for me, but we did need a change and a change, just a change within the club. And Jacko's is a new voice, and he's really driven that in us, where we need to be more intense, because we've got the quality. We all know how strong the squad is for this level. So if we can just start running over teams, and like I said, doing the nitty-gritty stuff, the quality's already there. So if you can outrun teams, outwork teams, then you're going to pick up a lot of points.
He and you guys just seem to be passing each test as comes and doing what you have to do. Plymouth are top, though. How big a test will this one be?
No, it's a massive test. We know that, but also it's a test. We're not scared of it. Maybe a couple of months ago we would have been scared of it, but not today. No, we're going to the game full of confidence, and I hope there's going to be a really special atmosphere here today. And yeah, it's a test, but we want to go and make a statement about where we're at now, and put the beginning of the season behind us. Like, we've learned from that, and we're a different team now. We're a different animal, and it's a game we're all really looking forward to.
And just finally, you talk about the atmosphere. It's going to be a special one today, isn't it? Pretty much full capacity. What's it going to feel like walking out here with the full capacity of the Valley and 100% behind you as well?
Yeah, I think as soon as the news came out that the chairman was going to do this offer and get and fill the Valley, all the lads have just been buzzing for it. Everyone's been talking about it and how good it can be, and some of the lads have witnessed it. I haven't witnessed it yet. I can't wait. But some of the lads have witnessed it. Jacko's told us how good it is, and like I said, we just can't wait to get out there and all be on the same side and feel that energy in the stadium. And it's going to drive, hopefully, 3 points and a great performance.
It's the first time I've had a proper conversation with you. You're a better player and a better talker than your dad. Listen, good luck as we get soaked in now.
Cheers, Scott.
He's so much better than his old man on so many levels, I have to say. Curbs, look, I mean, he's made a great impact since he's come in. How do you see it?
Well, I think that playing in that role absolutely suits him. Let's hope he can get on the score sheet, because that's what I'd like to see. We know he can make a goal and influence a game. Let's get on the score sheet like his dad. But no, I think that it's something that we should be looking at permanent, yeah. I think, you know, because I think he's proved himself at the club.
Well, she's not quite the same position as you, or Curbs can put you know, the two of you in a similar position, and not dissimilar players, as Curbs has said as well. not the tallest, but very technical. I mean, it's crucial to have those type of creative players, isn't it?
Yeah, you need someone who can join it up and you know, get in that little pocket and good at finding space, and then people being aware that he's good at finding space and getting the ball into him and letting him use that technical ability to get turned, run at people, pass the ball, or do something individual himself to create or score a goal.
Let's remind ourselves of today's team news, shall we? Starting with the Addicts. Just the one change that Jacko has made, that's enforced. It is Connor Washington coming back from the international break, with Jayden Stockley being suspended for 3 matches now. Sean Clare keeps his place, so that means that Chris Gunter has to settle for a place on the bench. DJ, to be fair, has done well since he's come back in as well, hasn't he, Curbs? But it is quite a lopsided with a winger playing wing back on one side and a fullback playing fullback on another. But it works, doesn't it?
It has worked. It has worked. But I think that Purrington's give us a little bit more of defensive responsibility. I think Thomas said in the interview that the big difference is the amount of running we're doing, etc., and the sprints. I think the big difference is we look as if we're a little bit more comfortable when we haven't got the ball.
Absolutely.
I always felt that we were struggling as soon as we lost possession. What was the plan? I always thought that. And it looks like they know what they're doing defensively.
Good news as well that Corey signed their contracts.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. If it got him in, you know, Elliott's on loan as well, isn't he? You know, so maybe a bit of work to do. But everyone keeps talking. I just said to Paul off air, you know, everyone keeps talking about we've got the quality. Even Elliott said it, and the chairman said it. We've got the quality. We've got the quality. So hopefully the missing link, that defensive work, is there now, so that we can score first. We can make the opposition have to make the changes instead of us chasing the game most weeks.
And 2 up front is most definitely working. Let's have a look at Plymouth then, shall we? And they are the league leaders, we have to say, not defeated since the opening game of the season. That is 16 league matches, and Ryan Lowe, what a job he's done. I mean, they just about avoided relegation last season. I think they were looking at mid-table, but when you're top at this stage of the season, you have to say they could well be up there come the end of the season as well. Ryan Hardy already having his best ever goal scoring season, 12 goals, and scored in the last 2 matches. So what are we thinking then, Curbs, and how we approach this game?
I was just watching them warming up there. The 3 centre-halves look big and strong, so we've got a problem in defending set plays, I think, without Jayden. And obviously they're not top for, you know, not being a good side. So, but I just think that we've got players out there who are playing full of confidence as well. So it'll be an interesting test for us today. And, you know, I think that with everything else going on, the crowd, let's see if we can really get this place rocking and get the result.
Walshy, how important is the start? How important is it we get the crowd going here?
Yeah, you want to start on the front foot and give the fans something to cheer about, and you know, and actually for your own confidence, have plenty of the ball. Not knowing too much about our Plymouth play, it's hard to know really how the game's going to unfold in the early stages. But I think the Charlton players will know it's a big test, and let's hope they can rise to it.
So we talk about big clubs in this league, and Plymouth will call themselves a big club. They've got a fantastic stadium. They've brought 3,000 fans, you know, which is a great support. Yeah, so that's another big club. You know, we keep looking up and down that table, and they're up there with it.
Owner and family already enjoying the atmosphere, as we are as well. Today is our annual Armed Forces Day, so to talk us through it and the team, the match itself, Terry Smith, Greg Stubley and Stevie Brown.
Thank you, Scott. Thank you, Curbs. Thank you, Walshy. Great to see Walshy back at the Valley. I remember watching Paul Walsh come through the side, through the youth team, through into the first team as a young lad. Also watching from the terraces, a special player. We all knew he would be. But as Scott says, today here at the Valley we celebrate Armed Forces Day, where we not just recognise everybody who served their country and lost their lives for the country, we especially recognise players, fans and staff